Hey guys, it's Whiskey River, and in today's video, I wanted to do a preliminary review and showcase on the Arazoa Acrocanthosaurus. The Arazoa Acro has been highly anticipated by many. I remember people talking about it and talking about it with friends and others a long time ago when it was just rumored and then they had put it on hold and nobody really knew if it was even going to come out. Then you've got like DB coming out with theirs and Abstentia coming out with theirs, and so we thought maybe Arizona was going to scrap this, but lo and behold, they did release it yesterday. And so I was really excited about it, and I love the Acro mod in general. It's always a fun mod. The other two are really cool to use. The Abstentia Acro is really tricky to use, but once you learn how to use it, it's super strong against every other Apex out there. And then the DB Acro is a total beast. I mean, it's got a heal call, and I mean, it's one of the strongest, if not the strongest dinosaur in this game. It's very good, and many servers consider it way too overpowered, and that's how come they don't put it on there. So this, even though it's the third acro we have, a lot of people are like, why do we need another acro? And I get that sentiment, but at the same time, if we could get something that's actually, fun to play and also balanced and not too crazy, overpowered, I think it's a welcome addition. And so far, I gotta say, I really like this thing. It's really cool looking. I like how it runs. I mean, it's got kind of a little hoppy little run to it, but Arazoa just does a great job on their mods. Their mods are always so just well polished, I would say, when they release them. I remember when the Trope came out, and there's the Factinus and the Leviathan, and I mean they're all really strong mods, and the Prognathodon's amazing. Arazoa really is thorough, and they release a final product. It's not super buggy, so I really like Arazoa's stuff. I think they're one of the best mod teams out there, and this definitely holds up to their reputation in my opinion. It's so far I really am liking it. I haven't had a lot of time. I'm growing them. I grew one on the DB server real quick to just play around with it and get into some fights and kind of get a feel for it. I went through all these skins. The skins are really amazing on it. I love them. There's some great options for everybody. And so I've gotten into a couple of fights. I don't know 100% what's going to be the best build yet. It looks to me like there's probably a couple different ways to go with this so far, but everything that I have here is going to be just an initial impression and sort of a preliminary analysis, and then I'm going to do a bunch of fights and we'll do some testing and stuff like that, and then I'll come out with a follow-up video on what I think is going to be the best build. But for this one, I just wanted to introduce it and show everybody the Acro and show the model and its abilities, and then kind of what I'm thinking so far about the. I think there's going to be two really good builds depending on how you want to do it. One that's a brawler, direct damage brawler, and then the other one's going to be a more of a bleeder. And I'm guessing you probably want to use the bleeder for the bigger stuff, bigger sauropods and larger, slower things, and then you're going to want to use the brawler for other apex carnivores and to defend yourself against the smaller, faster things. And then hunt down like maybe some mid-tier herbies and stuff like that. But I see this thing being probably a bleeder for large, slow sauropods or an apex carnivore killer. This skin right here that you're looking at, I went through all the different skins, and this one's my favorite, Diamondback. I mean, I love this. Is whoever did this skin this. I got to give you props. This is probably the best skin I've seen on any dinosaur. I love it. I love the patterns. I love the color choices. Obviously it resembles a Diamondback rattlesnake, and those are I've seen those in the wild in the Southern California, Arizona deserts and stuff, and they're really cool looking snakes. But all the skins are really cool. There's a lot to choose from here. Bearded, banded, Varanus, cranberry, striking. This one's cool because you can do like a tiger look to it. And then the banded one is also really nice. So lots of great skins to choose from on this. Chameleon's kind of cool. Dart, maybe make it look like a dart frog kind of. Bearded if you want to go with the bright colors. And then, of course, Diamondback. You can make this one look really, really good. This is, I mean, look at that. That's so cool. Cedar's kind of nice. That looks like you could probably blend in with the redwoods with that skin. Pretty good. Probably make it more of a red-brown color. Jag is really nice. Another tiger stripe, maybe leopard look to it. Some different color variations you could go with on this one. Greens, browns, oranges. Pretty cool. If you like blue, this Larga one's really neat. That's a great blue skin there. Yeah, that's beautiful. So they've got a skin. It looks like they've got a skin pattern for just about everybody. If you've got a favorite color or a look that you like to go with on a dinosaur, there's a lot to choose from. But I like this one personally. I don't know exactly which pattern I'm going to settle on, but I love the Diamondback one the best. The subspecies are all just cosmetic, so just depending on which one you want to look, how you want to look is going to be the one you want to go with. Royal's got a couple of humps there. Acrocanthosaurus, kind of a standard skinnier looking one. I like the Dinops, that's the one I'm going to go with. So I haven't had a lot of time to play on this yet, but I'm going to do a lot of fights and do some testing and stuff and try to figure out what the best build is, and I'll do a follow-up video on that. But for now, I'm just going to do some preliminary stuff. My idea, I'll go over a couple of builds based on all the abilities and my idea what these builds are going to look like. It looks like there's a couple different ways to go. You could go with like a bleed focused build. The other one would be like an attack brawler focused build, and then there's a third one that would be kind of a wild card. You could build it around maybe the dizzy ability. Just remains to be seen exactly until I really play with it some more, but that's kind of where I'm going with it so far based on what I've seen. I mean, incidentally, when I was growing this, I had just grown to an adult and I didn't put all my abilities on yet, and I got attacked by this juvie and like late adolescent subadult Spino. I thought it was kind of funny, but it gave me a chance to get a feel for the dino, get a feel for its turning and its animations and stuff, and the cooldowns on its bites and how delayed they were. Like that was the heavy bite right there, not bad. Does like that high damage bite, and see how much bleed this does. That guy was running around pretty good, but he ended up bleeding out, and then this little one was continuing to attack me, so I just finished him off. But yeah, that was kind of just a basic idea of what it looks like, different animations that it has. Its stand up and sit down animations are really clean on it. Just looks really good overall. I love the way it moves and its different emotes and things. They're all really, really nice. Get an idea what it looks like to eat here and drink. Yeah, it looks really good. I like how he puts his front foot forward, or she puts her front foot forward. This is a female, actually, named Artemis, the goddess of the hunt. And you could probably see, like, you could make it look like where like the foot was holding down the carcass that you're chunking, you know, ripping chunks of meat from or whatever. But yeah, it's overall, I just really love the look of it. All right, so let's get into the builds here. So this is the bleed build where you use hematic press. It's a delayed bite that reduces their bleed heal. Sinking teeth gives you the 15% overall bleed damage, and then you get a bit of healing with this vicious snap. Delayed attack causing moderate damage and high bleed. And then I'm going to use regeneration just for the 20% bleed and venom and status effects. But if I feel like I'm running out of stamina too much, I might switch over to Thrill of the Hunt but for the most part, I think that one's good. And then I always like the ability to have shove. On this server, it's got good turning. You might want to use juke if the server that you're on, it doesn't turn very well because the base turning on this is not good. So you're probably going to want to use that Let's Dance ability or the juke that it has. So that's the cooldown for the regular bite. This is probably the one I'm going to use to start with, more of a bleed build. You get this, there's the basic tail attack. That's the bite that reduces the hematic bite that reduces their bleed healing. And then the regular bite's got a pretty good cooldown on it. So that's pretty nice. And I think I'll use that to start. Just pretty easy. You know, you bleed stuff out and we'll see how it goes. My idea on the next type of build would be more of a high damage build, where it's not relying so much on bleed, but there's a unique ability that it has called Repentance, and I think you could do a deal where you use Giant Hunter, and then either Bloodhound or Adrenaline Overload, depending on if you're using Let's Dance or not. On this server, DB server, the turning is really good, so I think I'll just use Bloodhound, and then I'll use Repentance, because that's going to stack damage with Thrill of the Hunt, because if I'm bleeding, I get 20% stamina, extra stamina drain, less stamina drain, and then of course the back limb I'll just keep on the headbutt, because on this one on this server I'm not gonna need the Let's Dance, I don't think, and that way I have knockback on the front and on the back with the tail. The idea with this build here is that you use Repentance and stack up these damage stacks. You hit yourself. It doesn't really take much damage from you at all. And it makes you bleed, so now you're getting the Thrill of the Hunt, 20% reduced stamina drain, and we'll stack damage on ourselves and then just keep it that way. So you're always prepared for a fight with this extra damage, and you'll be bleeding a little bit. So you have your extra stamina, your reduced stamina drain as well. And this will be more set up around brawling. So that's the concept. It doesn't take very long to stack up all 5 of these. And once you get them stacked up, it's easy to keep them stacked. And like I said, I mean, your health bar is virtually full the whole time, so it's not a big penalty. You can see how much less the stamina drains with this setup. And the nice thing is that you can keep it stacked at 5. You can let this timer wear off until it gets all the way back down to 4. And even when the 4th stack gets almost empty, you can hit it again and it'll go back to 5. And so you're not really, you're basically healing through the damage that you do yourself. So I came across this little baby C-Rex and I figured it should be a pretty easy kill, but I was actually kind of surprised on how long it took to kill this thing, and it chunked my health down a lot lower than I figured. And considering I had that stacked up to 5, I felt like it should have taken a lot less bites to kill that thing. I guess I was kind of hitting it in the tail mostly, but still, I don't know. It felt a little bit weak. I'll have to play with it some more to really know for sure. Another option is, instead of Repentance, you can use Artery Burst, and this is basically like a detonate ability that the Mape has and some of the other dinosaurs. And I would think, use this in conjunction with a high bleed build, and use the Artery Burst instead of Vicious Snap. And that would be after you've built up a bunch of bleed. Obviously, you hit the Artery Burst and detonate all that bleed into damage. So you'd probably use it on stuff that's running after you and things like that. It's another option. I'll be playing with that as well. And it has a decent animation. It's got that red indicator, visual indicator there. And it doesn't have that long of a cooldown. I don't think you'd be using it a whole lot, so the cooldown is not hugely important, because you'd basically mainly be using all of your bleed bites and stuff to stack the bleed, and then you'd use that after the bleed was already built up. So I'll be playing with that one as well. And please let me know what you guys come up with. I'm sure there's something I missed. This is very early stages, so It's very, very, very new. I need to play with it some more, get into some more fights, and really get a better feel for it. This is just my thoughts for right now, and I am curious to see what you guys all come up with as well. So please let me know in the comments below. We can start a discussion on it and probably come up with something really cool together. There's probably a build that can revolve around that dizzy effect that it has. I haven't had a whole lot of time to play with that, obviously, so I'm really curious and interested to see what people come up with using that ability. And I'm just excited to play this. It'll be a lot of fun. And I'm especially excited to play it on Arazoa because when they released this, they also opened up their servers again, their realism servers back up, if you don't know. And I'm going to be playing on there. I'll be playing this Acro on there. This Acro is a solo playable. It's a big apex. It rivals the Rex and the Giga duos. So I'm really excited to play it on Arazoa. It should be a whole lot of fun. That's where I'm going to really experience this the most. And I'll be bringing you footage of that. I'm going to do a video on Arazoa and my thoughts on its reopening and my experience there so far. Been playing there yesterday and today, and I have been having a good time there. It's bringing back a lot of great memories, bringing meeting again, reacquainting again with a lot of old players and people that I used to see all the time on Arazoa. So that's really, really cool. Is this going to be? You think this is going to be better than the DB Acro and the Abstentia Acro? Probably depends on how the stats are set up on the server that you play on, but I have high hopes for it. This is kind of a cool little fight that happened when I was recording the video. This wolf was here. He wanted to fight, I guess. So it gives me an opportunity to test the bite, the turn, and everything. Turn in water is not the greatest. Tail knockback's good. And I get jumped by this guy. Another typical C-Rex player that likes to use fire on wet targets or targets that are in the water. Never understand it. Fire and water don't mix, guys. I don't know why all the C-Rex players love to use fire when it's raining out or when somebody's in the water. I see it all the time. It's hilarious. So I'm going to go ahead and try the detonate build on this guy. Stack a bunch of bleed. Now he's swimming with max bleed. I should be able to hit a detonate, and I do. That had to hurt. Hit him with some more bleed bites. Another interesting thing is that the Arazoa Acro doesn't have any voice calls, which I was surprised about. The stomp doesn't matter. He can hit me with that all he wants. There it is, detonate. Boom. Took all the rest of his life out. So that seems to be working pretty good. This wolf was just being a pest. And look how I'm shaking too. The wolf's got the paralysis on me. You'll notice that the Acro's shaking from that. So I decide I'm going to try to trick this guy. I'll see if I can use this shake ability to trick him into thinking that I'm laying down. See the shaking? That's from the paralysis. That's kind of cool. Try to get this paralysis off. But I want him to come in and attack me while I'm sitting down. So I'm going to sit down, bait him a little bit. So I'm going to show him that I'm sitting down. Try to make him think I'm vulnerable. I'll fully lay down here. So he comes in, he sees me laying down. Gets a hit, right? So now we'll do this. Make it look like I'm laying down. Boom. Got him. It worked. So there's a really good use for that shake emote. So those are my first impressions on the Acro. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope to see you out there and repair you. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.